It's been the longest day. You wish you could hit erase, but you aren't lucky that way. Oh no, nobody's lucky that way. But I want you to stop where you are. I want you to hear your heart, 'cause that's how you stay on par. Oh yeah, no need to raise the bar. When you're feeling low, oh, you gotta breathe, 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 breathe. Let it go and let it be, 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 be. Yeah, I hope that you're listening. There's only one thing you know you gotta do. That's breathe.
Everybody come on in. You all see us up here dancing. We're breathing. We're taking time for ourselves because it's Wellness Wednesday on the Own Your Now show. And I am your host, Tracy Berry McGee, also known as Divine T.
Why does that make me smile so much when I hear you say, I'm your host, Tracy Berry McGee, also known as Divine T? I love it. And yes, girl, you do your hands just like that. Because you know, I'm Yolanda Langford, the co-host, and they call me Lady Yo.
Lady Yo. That's my Lady Yo. Everybody say, hey, 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 because it's Lady Yo in the house.
Yes, indeed. You know that song, when you listen to the words, it says, I hope that you're listening. You're going to be all right. Just breathe.
That's right. That's right. Just breathe and take it all in. Take it all in, family. I see Vidal is in. If you all are not used to being on at this time, we are on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the Facebook side and the YouTube side. So just start sharing with your friends now. It's June. We're celebrating men. We're celebrating health, fathers, Juneteenth. You see, I get on my Juneteenth t-shirt.
Wait a minute, Tracy. It's just not a Juneteenth. It says, I define me Juneteenth. I know people are going to put in the chat, how can they get one?
You can definitely go to our page and you can order yours. Local right now, local St. Louis only, because I want to make sure that you all get it on time. But Lady O, everybody's tapping in and we got to do shout outs to everybody. But I got to ask you what you sipping on, because I see you sipping on something. So what's in your cup? What are you sipping on?
Well, let me tell you, I brought out my special glass because I am saying cheers to the men of the Own Your Now show. They are totally awesome. They've supported us from the very beginning. And you know, they always say Father's Day is only one day. We are celebrating for 2 weeks. We're celebrating fathers. So drop your father's name in the chat. If there's a male in your family that was an influence, an uncle, a cousin, a friend, please drop that in the chat, because we want to celebrate the men in our lives and the men in the lives of the ladies of the Own Your Now show.
That's it. That's it. You know.
And hey, Tracy, let me ask you, what you sipping on, sis?
I don't think we do it enough. I really don't think that we uplift our Black men enough, period.
And I agree. But I'll tell you what, Yolanda and Tracy are doing their part.
Yes, I do. I can't, y'all, I'm trying to type and everything, so I can't put the shout out for my man, but I'm definitely putting it out there for Nathaniel McGee, because hey, that's my man. That's my husband.
That's your, what do you call him? Honey bear?
My hubby bear. My hubby
bear. And he is awesome. Let me tell y'all about Nate, because through Tracy, I've got to know him very well. Nate drives the mobile when we take it out, the wellness mobile. Have you seen it? It's purple. It's the size of a UPS truck. And he is like this. And he makes sure it is where it's supposed to be. He was with Joy the other day at the museum, the Children's Museum. And it was just like crazy. Oh, my goodness. Good evening from Germany.
That's right.
Hey, Terry Fox.
In the house. He's in the house.
I love it. But Nathaniel McGee, you are a winner. You are a winner. And while I'm talking about winners, I'm going to shout out my dad, Bill Moore, who is like the most awesomest dad and believed in anything and everything I wanted to do. And I'm going to shout out Ozzie Smith. He is like the most awesome dad, bonus dad, uncle. We are a blended family of 7, and he makes it happen for all 7 of the children.
He does. Man, if you all to get a chance, you should go back to I remember our first year that we did the show and Ozzie was on. I think Ozzie even shared a tear. So
he had a little tear. He did.
I'm preparing for some summer break, so I'm already in my libation. I have a margarita.
Okay. I remember your daughter Kalia used to call them Margot margaritas.
Yes.
After your mom.
Yeah, my mom's name is Margot, and so let me tell you. So there's a restaurant over here in my neighborhood that if you don't finish the drink, you can take it home.
What?
So I literally I don't rush anything. You know how I feel about my tequila, my wine, and my coffee, and all of that. So I brought it home so I could share it with you while we're here.
Hey, cheers, hon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, everyone in the audience, tell us what you're drinking on, what you have today. Lemonade. It's hot where we are, so I've drank plenty of tea today and plenty of water. So tell us what you're sipping on.
Someone says she's drinking HTO. Everybody shouting everybody out. Look, we talking about our man. Dawn talking about her man. Her man is in the house, y'all. We have Alonzo Nelson in the house. We have Etoya White. Man, I want to call them Coach Etoya, Coach Alonzo. They daddies, they babas, they everything. They do stuff in the community. We have community builders in the house, lady.
We have some grown men in the house tonight.
That's it. So it's time for you all to share some more. Man, so do you all have cicadas out there in your neighborhood?
I'm speechless, and I'm never speechless. Yes, ma'am. I have to tell the cicada story. The cicadas aren't bothering me. You know, I'm a big old farmer's daughter, you know, so they're not bothering me. I walked out my front door and a cicada landed on my nose.
Shut the front door.
I dropped my purse. I was carrying some books. My hair, I had styled it, but when I got in the car, it was an afro.
Everything. I heard that they stick to you when they
do.
Stick to you. We were out in a restaurant and we went through, all the people were eating outside, and I was like, there is no way we're going to eat outside. And we ran back to the car after we got our food, and they locked the door, and then we heard something. Girl, we got off the car so fast. We were like, wait a minute, where is it? It was crazy. But it's not in North County, just so y'all know, because we don't play that. That's why. If the case came to North County, we start fighting.
Oh my goodness. Well, it seems like it's dissipating. So I'm hoping. I still go on my walks in the morning. You know, I call it the cicada dance. I'm always flinging my arms and brushing my legs because they'll be on you and you won't know.
Right. Robert, I know you're in the chat. Let us know, how long are these cicadas supposed to last? Because they look, he already said they are hideous.
Yes. And they're large. At some point, they look like hummingbirds to me.
I don't know. But I keep saying this. Do you all remember the movie The Birds?
Yes.
That and the birds were everywhere. Yes. I know some people may not remember that. That's what the cicadas remind me of.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? We're going to look on the positive. That means when we see the cicadas, the season has changed. We're going into a beautiful soiree of a summer. So I'm going to let the cicadas slide on out so that we can have a soiree summer.
Yes, because it's going to be a hot one, I do believe. Well, ladies and gentlemen and friends and family, we have amazing guests on today. So I really hope that you all are clicking that share button and making sure that you shout them out, because we want to make sure that we celebrate them because they're doing the work. Lady O, who do we have coming up first?
Our first wonderful, phenomenal man is Alonzo Nelson. He wears a number of hats. He is a husband, father, teacher, and coach, just to name a few. He is the son of a math teacher, an ex-professional track and arena football athlete. Honey, athletes running the family here. Since he was a kid, he wanted to help people. Thinking the route would be medicine, He discovered his true passion within his desire and education and all teaching brings. He lives out his passion of making people better in education under the moniker Mr. Do the Math.
Right.
There he is, Alonzo Nelson.
All right. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening.
Well,
Good evening.
that you are here, but we got to start it off by asking you, what's in your cup? What are you sipping on, brother?
I'm sipping on. I usually sip on tea, but it's so cold. It's so hot outside. I got some ice cold water.
It's cold water.
Yeah.
No, we are.
Water always does it. Let me shout that smile out. Let me shout that smile out. Your smile is everything.
Thank you.
I know our owners are looking at you said, this is a grown man. Definitely.
I wanted to ask, because we always talk about St. Louis water, and we know that East St. Louis is just right across the bridge. Does the water taste the same? Like, because everybody's the same. The St. Louis got really good water.
I can't say that I drink I don't drink faucet water. I stopped drinking faucet water back in '93. So I grew up in Alton, and everybody knows in '93 we had that flood. And so I'm still super, like, my mind can't get me to drink faucet water. So I drink filtered water, but I'm sure it comes from the water system. So I think my water pretty good. But yeah, by and large, I drink I think that I'm drinking filtered water, but my faucet water on the east side is A1.
A1. Well, we're going to jump right in. You are a coach. Let me go back. You are a husband, father, coach. Talk to us about when you made up your mind you were going to be about improving the community. Where did that come from? And what were your first steps?
So honestly, I think it comes from the way I was raised. Like, my parents raised me in the church. There's a joke basically saying that I feel like I was birthed inside of a church. But because my dad, he's been a minister since I could remember. My mom has been a leader in the church. And then my parents, both being educators, they were very, very influential in the community. And I was like, I had a front row to see to that. And I think that that intrinsically made me a community person. And like I said in my bio, like, I've always wanted to help people. And I think that came from just watching my parents help kids, help people, minister, mentor, and everything like that. And I think that it was just a natural progression for me to do it. And I've been fortunate enough to have a large voice in several communities, and I don't take it for granted.
Wow. Yeah. That shows us the value of having a father in your life and how they can pour into you to make a difference. Like, this is what legacy looks like. Well, let's talk about your most important role. Your husband, and you're a dad, a girl dad at that. I remember coming to the last baby shower. How things going in the house? You still, because I know they running things, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They run things, but I love it because even though they run things, Dad is the king. I'm Zoe's favorite person. I don't get it twisted, Don, but like, yeah, Zoe, she don't let nobody like take up her space when I'm around. And then Harper, I'm like, that's my baby. She always gonna be my baby. I take my role as a father very, very seriously. And it's funny because society would always joke that when you have a daughter, it's God punishing you for however you treated women, as you were like growing up and everything like that. But the way I see it, I think that being a girl dad is quite flattering that God gave me the responsibility to raise the next generation of nurturers and leaders. Like, everything comes through women, and God gave me two to, like, to like set the world straight. Like, my girls are they're very talented, they're very bold, they're super smart. They are everything, and I'm excited to be their dad. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Now, I have had the privilege of knowing you, your wife, and seeing the children grow. Your wife is the Dawn Harper Nelson Olympic winner. So I want to know, as she was doing her thing, how did that evolve in your relationship? Because you were out there on the track. I saw the baby girl out there on the track. Talk to us about what it is and what it takes to support, lead someone who is in that kind of area of expertise, Olympian.
So, when you have a partner that is, of that pedigree and like doing the things that she's doing, it takes a special man to like, stand behind her and be okay with being in the shadows, right? Like, I think that God definitely prepared me for the relationship that I have with my wife. I think like prior to us getting together, I spent a period of singleness where I was just by myself, and I learned how to like love myself and have fun by myself, and also like be strong within myself. And I think like honestly, it takes a man, like a man's man, to like stand behind and stand with a strong woman. And honestly, for us, I always told Dawn, because she been in track and field for a very long time. And traditionally in professional sports, your career is only about 5 years. Dawn was able to be at the top of the 100-meter hurdles in the world for 12 to 13 years, for a long period of time, right? And so, yes. And so like my thing was, I was never going to tell her when she had to hang up her spikes, right? It had to be on her terms, because I can't replace what track and field did for her and what it does for her, right? But what I can do is support her through it. And so, but my only agreement was, once you have Harper, like once you have Harper, like you can continue running. You just got to do it here. For like the first 6 years of our marriage, she was in Los Angeles and I was here in the St. Louis region, and we do the bi-coastal thing. And it's something that it takes, again, a very special person to do. God blessed us with the capacity to do it. We did 3 weeks off, 3 days on for like 6 years. You know what I mean? And like somebody mentioned in the chat, like it takes a village. Like, no doubt it takes a village. And like part of me being so deep in the community was because I had to make time. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be idle. You know what I'm saying? So I distracted myself with being a member of 100 Black Men, being a teacher, being a coach. I'm also a co-founder of the Collective STL, which is a yoga studio that caters to Black people. And like, honestly, I couldn't, if I was like busy, like moping around and like, making her feel bad about her chasing her dream, we wouldn't have the strong relationship we have. All of the things that are going on because of the partnerships that I've created wouldn't exist. And honestly, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Ooh, why he want to make me cry? I already got my tissue because I know, honey, I'm a crybaby. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
That's the balance of being. That's why we said the true Renaissance man. He's a community man. I want you to talk about. I'm in education. Etoya is coming up. He's in education. We've been doing this work for a minute. Talk to us about why is it so important for educators to be in the public. We're told to keep our private lives private.
Right.
What is your thoughts on that?
So everybody views educators as like these poor, miserable people, right? And for me, it's quite the opposite. Like my life is rich. I have a lot of things that I can do and that I do because of education, and it opens a lot of doors. And so for me, it was important that my students saw the beauty of being an educator, and the things that education can bring. And so, I think as educators, we do have to live by a different standard than the average person, the average adult. almost synonymous to like how a minister lives, right? You know, the minister's private life has to be very, like, it has to be a mirror of what they preach and profess in front of their congregation. And I honestly feel like that's honestly the pressure that educators have, where it's like, yo, you got to always upkeep your standards. For me, I don't have a problem with that, because again, I want more Black people to get in education. I want more Black boys to get into education. And so I need to show them the luxuries of being an educator. I need to show them the beauty and the perks of being an educator. And so, and then also in that, I also show them how to, like, it's okay to be vulnerable, right? And so I frequently tell my young men that I love them. I frequently tell my young men and my students, like, yo, you hurt my feelings when you did X, Y, Z, because in our society, being a man, you have to hold this mask of machoism, right? Where you know, you ain't scared, you don't get tired, you don't back down from nothing, you eat bark, you know what I mean? And if you don't have breakfast, if you ain't eating eggs raw, you soft and all of this stuff, and then like, and that's not it, you know what I mean? A man is quite the opposite. And so I use my platform, or I show forth my platform to my students so they can see how healthy relationships are, how to be a parent, you know what I mean? And then also, like, you know, again, like I said, the luxuries of education, like educators set up everybody, right? Every doctor, every doctor, every president, every professional, anything is who they are because of an educator. And with that being said, like, I have ex-students that are in the NBA. I got ex-students that are in the NFL. I got ex-students that are doing a myriad of things. They are lawyers, they are business owners, and all of those things. And because of the relationships that I had with those students, they give me, like, I get the red carpet, you know, rolled out for me. So there's like, I was able to go to the Orange Bowl for free, you know, because of my students. I was able to go to, you know, basketball games, you know, free of charge. And you know what I mean? And like, I have lawyers on, like, you know, on retainer with no retainer because of the relationship that you know what I'm saying, established. And I think that those things don't exist if I'm not in education. And now the other thing is, like, I feel like I'm a networker, right? And so for my students, one thing that we didn't have when we was in school, if we said this was my dream, there was nobody to say, all right, I know this person and I can help you, like, get closer to your dream, right? And so now when my students tell me things as like they want to be pilots, I can say, hey, one of my best friends is a pilot. Let me connect you to it so you can come up with a plan to do that, right? I want to be a doctor. Okay, cool. What kind of doctor you want to be? I got a friend that does that. Let's come up with a plan so you know exactly how to go about it. You want to be a teacher? Bet. You know what I mean? That, like, here is the avenue to go through. I got people at universities and everything like that. My athletes, like again, I'm a connector now and I'm a networker. And I think that, like, you know what I mean? When we was kids, we said, hey, we want to do these things. I'd be like, oh, that's good. But there was nobody.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I always tell people the greatest gift God gave me was the ability to maintain relationships.
That's it.
It is something about relationships. I always say you have to, the relate part is getting to know someone. The ship part is the sailing of the getting to know. And that is the sailing into connections. I want to ask something. What about this yoga thing? You know, how did a Black man get into yoga?
So it's a beautiful story, right? I'm a mama's boy, right? And my mom had just had my younger brother, he's 12 years younger than me, right? So I'm like on my way to high school, and as she's like, I'm in the 8th grade going to the 9th grade, and my mom was recovering from giving birth to Dominic. And so one of those things that she did in recovery was yoga. And at this time, yoga wasn't sexy. It wasn't popular. Everybody wasn't doing it, especially Black people, right? And so it was coming on TV at like 5:30 in the morning. And my mom was like, hey, like, she called me to the room and showed it to me. And I thought, and my mom knowing me, I thought it was cool because the poses that they were doing on the TV show or the yoga show was similar to what we were doing in track practice. I had just started running track at the time too. And so I would wake up regularly to like follow the class and do the yoga poses and things of that nature. And I just continued that on through like college, and I would introduce any of my friends to it, and I would bring them with me. However, you know, being a black man, being black flat out, there weren't black people in like yoga spaces, right? And so I remember being in classes and being the only one, but me being like a competitor, I saw it as a challenge. Like, hey, I'm the only brother in here. Let me show them that I know what I'm doing, right? But after I would finish class, I was always exhausted. You know what I mean? Because emotionally, I was out there proving myself instead of getting from yoga what it was supposed to be. You know, and so fast forward to 2017, I have the opportunity to get my yoga teacher certification, which is another roadblock, right, for Black people to get into yoga. Teacher certifications are super expensive. You know what I mean? Like anywhere from $1,500 to $3,500 just to be certified yoga instructor, right? But I was able to, at this time, go through a program with Yoga Buzz. And within Yoga Buzz, I met Dr. Terry Harris and Melinda Oliver, who are also doing the yoga teacher certification with us. And at the end of our program, it was like, yo, when you become a yoga teacher, what are you going to give to the world? And we were anonymous about saying we're going to give it back to our people. Right. And so with that being so, from there, once we graduated in December. Martin Luther King Day was in January. Our first event was Ahimsa, which is Sanskrit for the practice of nonviolence towards people of things. And if anybody knows anything about Martin Luther King, that's what his thing was. Right. And so we started having yoga on Saturdays from that point. And we've always been about providing donation-based yoga because, like we said before, yoga has never been accessible to Black people, right? The yoga clothes are expensive. A membership at a yoga studio is $100, $100 or $25 a session. And like Black people, like I ain't flexible as is. I ain't finna pay to put myself through all of that, you know. So for us, we were like, hey, just come here. All you need is your breath. We got the yoga mats. We have the classes are free. It's a community, and say it again.
You can bring the kids.
Yeah, you could bring your kids. You could, and like again, we made it accessible and accessible for everybody. No matter what size you are, no matter how long you've been practicing, no matter how old or young you are definitely welcome there. And we've been going strong for 6 years. Actually, at this moment, on Wednesdays in June, we're having yoga at 6 p.m. at the Missouri History Museum. And
okay, so, Tracy.
I know.
Yeah, come on out.
Tons of yoga mats for the girls where I bring them so that we could sit out in the grass and do the whole thing. You know, I love that. You mentioned, the power of words. Yolanda and I are now, of course, we're parents, but we're Yayas. So I'm Yaya and she's Gigi.
I'm Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo. She's Yo-Yo and I'm Yaya.
Okay.
What do your babies call you?
My babies call me Baba. So and like so there's a story behind that is towards the end of my wife's career, Dawn's career, one of her coaches at that time, Ryan Wilson, he had kids and they call him Paul, right? Ryan's like my age. But when you hear Paul, you think of, some
Little House on the Prairie.
You know what I'm saying? Straw in your straw hat, straw, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, that's interesting. So I asked him, I was like, yo, where's Paul? He was like, hey, man, you can have your kids call you whatever you want them to call you. And I was like, And so I looked up Baba, and Baba means father in several different languages, Swahili, Zulu, all like the middle, like all the cultures, most cultures on the Eastern cultures, like refer to their fathers or their community leaders or their grandfathers as Baba. It means priest, it means respected one, and all of those things. And so again, the importance of words, right? And so, and I was nervous about it because I've never been around people that call their fathers Baba. And I think I was watching, I think Crazy Rich Asians. And I think she might have referred to her father or grandfather as Baba. And I was like, yep, I'm going with it, you know. And so now my girls call me Baba, and I love it.
My granddaughter calls her mother's father Baba. So I've heard that before. Well, we don't want to let you go, but we do have another guest. I have to ask you, being a man of words, what is your affirmation word of the week?
We finally ended the school year, right? And I'm able to be around my family, my daughters, and my wife full time now. And so my word is actually two words because it's an action, right? And my word is be present, right? And I say be present because like with when you're working, or you know, as an educator and you're doing so many things, you always got your phone with you. You always like answering things, or like, you know, I'm trying to be a content creator, so I'm always trying to edit something or whatever. I'm listening to this, I'm filling out that, and like, you know, having kids every day, every minute, like they grow, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing is, like, you know, at this time of the year, I have more time than I'm ever going to have with my kids. And so I work really hard, and I'm working really hard, especially like now, again, you said this week is to be present for my wife, you know, whatever she needs me to do, whatever she's doing, I'm there. My daughters, like, you know, my daughter wanted to sketch, and like those interactions build memories, one, but also build confidence. So like my daughter's super creative, Harper's super creative, right? And so I want to nurture that. I want her to continue to do that. You know, one of the things to do that is me being there alongside her along the way, you know. And then little Zoe, like, she's like, you know, she's a sponge. And like, since she's a sponge, I want to make sure that I'm intentionally putting, you know, good things or good words and good actions, you know, around her, so then she can like just continue to flourish and flower like my daughter Harper.
I just
love it.
That, like, I've watched you literally physically balance your whole family on your body, but think that you all are doing out in the community. You all got to follow them on Instagram. You go see the real Nelsons, their conversations, this marriage thing. They love it. They're like life and for real. And we appreciate that. I can't wait for Etoya to come up. You are doing the work inside the house and outside. Y'all balancing it all. And we're here to watch it and use this as a template, because a lot of people didn't grow up with templates, you know. So I just want to thank you for all you're doing. We want to thank you. You know how we feel about Dawn and Harper. You know, y'all are our family, and we gonna come out there. We're gonna come out there on that Wednesday night.
Yes.
Do that.
Yes.
6 o'clock.
Cicadas ain't out there, are they?
6. They are, but we will have most of our classes inside the History Museum.
Oh,
cicada free.
That's even better. That's even better. You winning. That's a chicken dinner right there. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
So we can go. You know, we can go. We can go on Wednesdays. We go to Twilight Thursdays. We can do the thing.
We can do it. There's so much to do in St. Louis that is free or donation based. Get out, enjoy the summer.
Yeah, we have to. Speaking of enjoying the summer, enjoying his life, man, I have been friends with this brother for many, many, many years, just watching his whole legacy of the things that he's doing in the community, with his fraternity, in the schools, coaching, his wife, his children, that everybody's growing up. I'm talking about the founder of Etoya or White Therapy and Coaching, the Etoya White. He provides individual, family, dynamic, marital, couples, and group therapy. He's also a life, relationship, and sports performance coach. Y'all talking about where are they for our young men? We just told y'all. He focuses on meeting the mental and emotional needs of men and boys, specifically in Black and Brown spaces. I love that. With the overarching goal of urbanizing mental health. Etoya also has a master's degree from the University of Missouri, St. Louis, And he's married to the beautiful Tracy L. White. Yes, y'all. You know, we know Tracy Lynn. And they parent 5 amazing children. And he's also a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. We're going to bring him up. Everybody, welcome Mr. Etoya White. Brother.
How y'all doing? Oh, my bad. I was doing stretching. Alonzo was talking about yoga. I was off trying to get myself together. Excuse me.
Try to get your stretch on.
My bad. I was over here trying to move something. You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you, you are moving something. You are moving the minds of our Black men and Black boys. And we are so forever grateful and thankful that you said yes to the Own Your Now show. Before we get started, I have to ask you, what's in your cup?
Well, we grown people. So I have Uncle Nearest Master Blend Edition, the finest whiskey that I've ever tasted. Uncle Nearest Master Blend, only available at the Uncle Nearest Distillery in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
He trying to tell y'all something. Trying to tell y'all where he been.
All right now. He sounds like he could be a brand ambassador, right?
Get you a sip. Get you a sip.
Get you a sip. All right, St. Louis, come on with it. Talk to us about, let's jump into mental health, because this is, June, and this is what you do. Why is it important to talk about urbanizing it in the Black and Brown community?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I made that my goal for a specific reason. I'm a product of the DSEG program. For those who may or may not be from the St. Louis area, I'm a product of the DSEG program, voluntary desegregation of schools. And in that process, or the experience that I had was such that there were limited resources. We had some great people. Like, don't get twisted. We had some great people that I encountered throughout my time in the Parkway School District. But from a resource standpoint, especially with regard to academic support, mental and emotional wellness, there were some serious voids. Now, that was 30 years ago when I was in high school. But that experience led me to the goal of urbanizing mental health, because nobody's coming to save Black boys. And we have to take these Eurocentric concepts of counseling and mental health theory and make them fit our people. And that's what I do. And I do that with full confidence that what I do is for who it's for, and that's okay. And that's what our brothers need. Our brothers need to come into my office and see me with my ball cap bent sideways, my J's, my jeans on, or whatever have you, so that we could disarm them and create spaces. We got to be able to create spaces where brothers we can reach each other where we are. And that's the part of tearing down some of those the stigmas and stereotypes attached to mental health.
Now, mental health. Before COVID, I heard the word mental health, but we all experienced something during COVID. Talk to us about how COVID affected Black man and how it brought mental health to the forefront.
Yeah, so we've got, words are super important, right? So mental health in and of itself, and that's why these kinds of conversations are important, right? Because mental health is no different than physical health, emotional health, financial health. Like, it's a part of who we are, right? So we have mental health is a part of every single person, all 7 billion of us. We have, there's an aspect of us that is our mental health. And we talk about the issues that impact our mental health, and that's where the conversation comes in. And those things eventually, obviously become the segue to mental illness, right? There's illness and there's wellness. And so why that conversation is important is because, especially for us, is that entire systems were created to destroy us. Entire systems were created to, railroad us, tear our families apart, et cetera, et cetera. And so the conversation is important for us is because just like there were systems that were systematically created to destroy us, we also have to have systems that are specifically designed to empower us and build us back up and get us in contact with the resources that are necessary to repair multiple, generations of damage.
And this way you've been at work for a minute. Every time that, and I love it because, like, how I feel about women and girl empowerment. When you're very specific, then people know who to call. And I think, like Alonzo talked about his father and people being in the church in different places. You got to know who to call when you're dealing with issues with marriage or your boys and your young men, you're also a coach. So even outside of everybody coming to the office, you go out to the field. Talk to us about why it's important for you to go out into the community as well.
Yeah, that's important because everybody doesn't need therapy, but everybody needs relationships. So us being able to go out and come out of, the office or behind the, the titles and the theory and so on and so forth, and just creating relationship spaces, right? Like human beings don't exist outside of relationships. From my favorite grad school professor, Dr. Robert Rocco Catoni, and I live by that. Like, we don't live outside of relationships, and the success or failure of those relationships is predicated on needs being met. So being able to get out of the office and get into spaces where brothers can just connect and they can hear that, common experiences and know that, yeah, they don't need to come in. The problem with coming to the office is, in order for me to get paid, in many cases, it requires some kind of pathologizing. And people don't need to be pathologized in order to have their needs met. They don't have to be pathologized in order to get some support or get some wisdom or get some counsel. And many times the aspect of coaching becomes that much more important, because I don't have to, again, labeling you with a pathology, I don't have to traumatize you by doing that in order for you to be able to get some help. So it's important for us to get out into spaces, get brothers together, young men, doesn't matter what the age range or whatever have you is, because we got to let brothers know that everybody's portion is important, right? It doesn't matter your income level, doesn't matter your title, it doesn't matter your profession or whatever have you. Everybody has something to give, with the idea of us being responsible for us and rebuilding Black men in our community.
Yes.
And talking about rebuilding, talk to us ladies about how we can come to our men about them checking in with their mental health. It is hard enough telling them to go to the doctor, get your checkup physically. How do we bring that conversation and make it a normal conversation?
Yeah, that's the thing and that's such an amazing question. And because there's so much trauma associated with, and obviously, we could talk about the history of our connection to mental health and medical health and all those different kinds of things. We can have that conversation, but let's do it together. You know what I mean? Like, the majority of my adolescent clients, or actually, I'm not even gonna say adolescent clients. I'm going to say probably 95% of my male clients were referred by a woman, or that process was facilitated by a woman who loves them. It's a mom. It's hey, my husband needs support. So women, Black women, are in this with us, in the trenches, back to back with us. And so we can, it's important. Let's do it together. Embrace the fact that this isn't about something being wrong with us. It's about acknowledging the things that have happened to us, and how Black women have also been a part of that struggle with us in raising broken boys who, become broken men, and so on and so forth. So it's just the idea that even when the systems were designed that destroyed our families, you guys had to shoulder the load when that occurred. And so we're in this together, right? There's, we're turning, away from each other, toward each other, or against each other. And at this juncture, we have to turn toward each other as much as we possibly can.
Amen.
Woo! Preach! I want to turn my chair around in a circle.
She's like, she said, preach. You are talking about, building relationships and being a Black man raising children. I got to talk about, Yolanda mentioned earlier having a blended family. So many of us have blended families. You have a blended family. That relationship, communication. Talk to us about how delicious that can be.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? Like, we have, our combined experiences, and I'm going to say like we have so much to learn from each other. And what's made it so amazing with my wife and my family is our listening ear toward each other's experiences. Because we've been, we're a couple years together in marriage, but we have 25 years combined experience. And for us to be able to sit down and listen to those experiences, listen to the experiences that shaped, who we are as people today, and not assign each other responsibility for what happened in previous relationships and so on. It's so incredibly amazing. Like she man, she's dope. And like it allows we allow each other to just be our authentic selves, and it makes an exceptionally healthy environment for our kids. And we take an each approach to our kids instead of all approach. And that's my encouragement to parents who are blending, or parents in general, right? We have to take an each approach instead of an all approach, because all of our kids are wired differently, emotionally, physically, they're wired differently. And it's important for us, like the straw that stirs the drink is our relationship. And if they can see what's healthy coming from us, then it allows them to self-actualize in a way that like they're free, and they can evolve into the people that they are. And we provide an environment that allows them to do that.
And
I just want to say, wait, are y'all sharing this, people? All of our people, because we have 8.8K followers. Are you all sharing right now? Because what he's dropping, what Alonzo dropped earlier, these are the seeds that allow our communities to grow. So I hope that you all are sharing. I'm just, because I'm just saying. That's all I need to say.
And I want to piggyback on what Tracy's saying. When we bring people on the Own You Now show, we want to fill up your cup. And today, I want to say my personal cup is overflowing. I'm not going to be able to take these gems and work those gems into the crowns of my king. And I am just thankful and overjoyed that these gentlemen have said, yes, we're going to come on tonight and talk to the ladies on the Own You Now show and share what we can help as individuals, help in relationships, and help in our community. Because if our community is not well, we can't be well our community has to be well. We have to be part of the healing process. And part of the healing process is checking in on our men and their mental health.
That's right. Mental, physical, spiritual. Alonzo said solid, brother. Like y'all doing the work. Look, I can't even just have them in the background, lady. I got to bring both of them up to talk.
Yes.
Because they dropping seeds, and I'm like, yes, I'm ready to have a man conference and be back there passing out flyers and be on King's Highway saying, come on, y'all.
Come on in the room.
Talk to us about, and both of you all can tune into this, what are some of the barriers that you see remaining in our community? Because we have so much violence, but we also have a lot of good men out here doing the work. What do you think is some of the issues or our solutions, Etoya?
So we still have system problems, right? Like some of the bigger issues are still system problems, because like we're not like, so the entry point, especially for Black folks, the entry point to the mental health field is education, right? It's the entry point, because most people, they'll come into their first contact with a counselor, social worker, children's vision, something like that, comes through school. So that's pretty much the entry point. But unfortunately, school isn't changing with the needs of the people that it's supposed to serve, right? School isn't changing in a way that allows it to, we can 1 + 1, as far as I remember, 48 years old, as far as I remember, 1 + 1 has always equaled 2. It probably will continue to equal 2. So these things that, in terms of experiment, cool, we can control for that. But how do we change the scope of school where we can integrate and make mental health a priority, or wellness, right? Let's shift it, right? For, PC conversation.
Yeah.
Let's shift it to wellness. How do we integrate it in school from HR policies all the way down to the policies in the school, teacher evaluations, et cetera, and we can do that in a way that makes it a priority. And if we don't, then it's still a novelty. Mental health will still be a novelty, and that'll be reflected in our schools. Another system issue is our schools, UMSL, Webster, MOBAP, Lindenwood, being intentional about aligning with African American clinicians that have come through the program to do more recruiting efforts. Like, we need more clinicians because there's not enough of us working together. A lot of us, unfortunately, work in silo in our own business spaces, and there's not enough of us with our arms locked, with the idea that more of us working together can get a greater number of resources to a greater number of people. All this myself as a solo practitioner, there's only so many people I can touch.
That's right. Alonzo?
I mean, yeah. So I think you mentioned this earlier about we are our own saviors, right? And I think that I mentioned this before in a panel that around every school, because it's a system issue, right? Around every school is at least 2 churches, right? In every Black community, there's at least 10 Black organizations. None of them work together, right? None of those churches are going into those schools to help out. Inside the schools, the counselors aren't able to actually counsel because they have school responsibility when it comes to like schedules and all of that stuff. Most schools, especially in the Black community, they don't have social workers. They have police officers, right? And so as long as the school system is trying to police our kids instead of counsel our kids and restore our kids, we're going to have these community issues within our within our Black communities with our Black boys and Black girls. So with that being said, we have to relinquish this idea that mental health is taboo. Like, we gotta pray about it, but we also got to do something about it, right? We have to recognize it. And so, like, from the church on down, we have to be more intentional about those interactions. You know what I mean? So, like, in my school and in my class, like, we do talk about, we have those conversations. I'm training restorative justice. And I think more and more schools are starting to have restorative circles and have restorative justice like talks. But even those have to be executed better.
Right.
But with that being said, I think that we have to get away from policing our kids as babies and like counsel them, teach them how to deal with conflict, allow them to be angry, and all of those things. You know what I mean? And then, like, because the other harsh reality is they're not enough of you, Etoya, to like you said, one-on-one. Like, it's not enough Black teachers, it's not enough Black therapists, it's not enough, and so we have to fix the system. We have to tweak the system in a way that it helps our kids. You know what, adults.
Alonzo, I want to jump in here because I follow you. I'm seeing what Alonzo's doing. I'm watching you and Don. And I don't know, I think it was last week, you were at a track meet. And someone focused the camera on you and you were emotional. Yeah. Talk to me about when you are engaged with your students and when you're engaged with the kids. How does that feel to see them win?
There's no words for it, right? And in that moment where I got emotional, like my boys had just won the 4x4 at the Illinois High School Association State Champions track meet, right? I just I was just thinking about we started training in November, and those boys bought in. They were bought in from November, and track and field is one of the hardest sports for anybody to participate in. Running is like the punishment of every other sport, right? And so just to watch them, like, one, trust me and my wife and my coaching staff enough to go out there and give it all they had, and to see that all they had was the very best in the state of Illinois. Like, it's like, man, like I feel like beating at this brick wall for a while, and just to watch it crumble down and watch my babies, my boys, like, experience that level of success. It's like, again, like, I can't put into words how it feels, but it's like I've been bottling that in, right? I've been nervous for them. I've been like, hey, are they gonna be healthy? Are they gonna make it through the event? Are they gonna show up? Are their parents gonna be like, you know what I mean? Just
Yes, the variables.
carrying all of that, and then to see like all of that I've been carrying to like create this baby or this thing, like it was like, oh my God.
Yes, it works.
Yes.
It works. I just, we work in the schools, and my son has a program now, and so he gives me the boys' perspective because, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and people always said, like, well, what about the boys? And I was like, so I'm not a man. I don't need to be in a space with boys. And there's something about creating sacred spaces for girls and sacred spaces for boys. And I'm in a midi schools, and there's some more. I'm about to be such a big advocate to push
Yes.
you all to do more. And I know you can't do it all, and you do have teams, and so we got to continue this work. I think we got to just come. You all gonna have to just keep coming back on the show, and we talk about these things. Tell everybody where to find you. I know, Etoya,
hold on, Tracy. We didn't ask Etoya his affirmation word.
Yeah.
I forget that, but I know Etoya be in the barbershop. He'd be in the bar. So tell them about how you go out into the community to do that piece.
Yeah, so I do like wherever, I would do some work with Affinia Healthcare. We, the last Saturday of every month we meet down at down in on Biddle, Biddle downtown, and it's just an open group for brothers to come, and it's creating those spaces. I'll go anywhere. I mean, panel discussions, whatever have you. I mean, flyers, different things of that nature. If there's a space that's created for brothers to be able to get something that they wouldn't otherwise get, because there's a thing, right, where brothers won't necessarily come individually. They may come to a group outing. Grab a chicken wing, sip some Uncle Near's, smoke a stick or something like that. And that's why the barbershop is our place. So if the barbershop is our place, we got to create more spaces like the barbershop. So we're gonna go to the cigar bar with me and the bros. We're gonna pull up, and we're gonna talk about what's real and what's relevant in our lives, because our goal is to support each other.
Absolutely.
Alonzo?
Yeah, we got to create something else, because I don't need the barbershop no more.
Meet on the track.
Right.
Yoga.
Yeah. But you said, how can I be reached over and everything?
Yeah.
Well, so I'm on Facebook under my name. That's a lot of Alonzo Nelsons, but I think my picture is with me and my girls. My family podcast, The Real Nelson. The Real Nelsons on IG, and also ZOEESL. And that's on Instagram and Twitter. And then on any of those platforms, my email is available. And I'm always down to do panel discussions, to lead yoga and create those spaces for people so that they can breathe or rest. Another thing that Black people don't do, we just go. We don't sit down, and that's for me too. We don't sit down and just rest. And so I'm available to hold those spaces for our people.
We love it.
Tracy, now look here. I think we're gonna do a Own Your Now Show yoga session with Mr. Nelson. And then all our ladies on the Own Your Now Show will get our guys to do something with Mr. White. How about that?
And look, Stacey is in, and she said we need you. She's over at Southeast Middle. Myself and Dominate STL, we all over there. We need community is all we got. Like they said, ain't nobody gonna save us but us. No. And you know that's a fact. Terry is in from Germany, and he says a fantastic show with excellent topics, great knowledge. It's late here in Germany. So look, y'all, we touching. We international. That's what it's about. Etoya, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Etoya said link arms.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we should take from our conversation today. You have a talent, you know something, let's link arms.
Absolutely. That's actually the premise behind the collective STL. When we started, everybody in our community, all of our co-founders, they all had a different talent, and we brought those skill sets together. And I think that's something that we need to model in the Black community. we need to let go of all of our grudges, and we need to come and do the work together. You know what I mean? The NAACP, 100 Black men, 100, the Coalition of 100 Black Women, Urban League, all of them need to come together. The Divine Nine,
Yes.
all of that,
Come
like
on, bro.
for real. Like,
I was just having that conversation. Like we have to create the question because, like, 314 Day, all these things. Like, what's uniquely Black about St. Louis? Like right now in 2024, what's uniquely Black about St. Louis? And like the things that we love us some emos, we love us some shrimp fried rice and ham St. Paul's and all these things and vegetables, but that none of that stuff is ours. We got to create things that are uniquely Black about St. Louis, and that then becomes the conduit to us having more regular and consistent spaces for us to connect to each other and fellowship and commune with each other.
Commune, yes.
There's a book that I'm reading.
Hey, they gonna let us fight each other. They gonna let us stay disconnected. They gonna let us stay divided, like 100%. They gonna create space for that. But then once we start coming together and we start siphoning our money back to us, when we start like making ourselves better and healthy and the whole nine, the families are stronger and everything like that, then they gonna recognize, like, like you said, what's unique about St. Louis or what's unique about the metropolitan area. Like, it's something special about us. And we
need to take up space.
Yeah,
100%.
We need to create our tables and our own spaces. Everybody start dropping your affirmation words in the chat. Just bring one word to the chat. Come on, Etoya. What's your word?
So my word is my family will, our family, all my clients, they hear this every day. My word is gratitude.
Yes.
My attitude is always gratitude. When everybody, people will walk past me or whatever, man, how you doing? Man, I'm grateful. How about you? Oh, you know what? I never thought about it that way, man. I'm grateful all the time. In the words of Arthur Ashe, and I, heard this at a graduation recently for one of my students who got her became a doctor. Arthur Ashe said, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And that's my approach to gratitude every single day. I sleep well at night. Even my wife, she on the chat, she'll probably tell you I sleep real good. I snore from time to time. Well, I sleep good at night because like I give it, whatever it is that I have, and I operate with the attitude of gratitude in that whatever God has given me with regard to purpose, it wasn't for me. And I sleep well at night knowing that I give it to the best of my ability every single day. So I start every day, where I am. Like, this is where I am today. Cool. This is what I got today. And I do what I can on any given day. And I'm able to sleep well at night with gratitude, knowing that I just gave it.
That's it. Leave it. Woo, lady. Oh, I mean, I'm speechless. Like you said earlier, I don't know what to say. These brothers brought it, and I love it.
Yes. We always say, in the words of Shameen Clark Hubbard, we're sipping off the saucer. Not only did they give us something, they overflow the cup that owners are going to be able to sip off the saucer, and then they're going to tip it.
Yes.
And let somebody else sip.
That's it.
And that's what I love about today. So I'm going to give my word because my word is creativity.
Yes.
These men today created their lane. They didn't wait for someone to invite them in to be a therapist. They didn't wait for someone to invite them in to be a yoga instructor, to be a coach, to be a father, to be a dad. They created. So I want everyone to not just go out into the world and follow the leader.
Yeah.
Be creative with your talents and then go forth into the world and make it a better place. So creativity is the word for tonight.
Creativity. That's it. I'm just looking at everybody in the chat, and I think that for me, my word is going to be unity. I think it's important that we come together. I think that that's the only way we're going to do work, and that's what it looks like. So for us to be able to be present, we have to understand that we have to be at peace with ourselves so that we can come together as a collective and know that when we come together, we're not just empowering ourselves, we're empowering a community. And that's what unity looks like, because we are a movement. And when you have gratitude towards the people that do the things for you, then you're able to see what togetherness looks like. But it ain't going to be easy. You're going to have to be tenacious about that thing. You're going to have to realize that if something is broken in you, then get a therapeutic approach. Whichever way that you feel designed to do it, then we have to do it so that we are not divided by design and creating that confusion, but that we have some grace for each other and we can come together and find a pathway for us to be creative in all the things that we do. And that may take us being a little more patient with each other. But we want you all to understand in all things that we do, we definitely appreciate you. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate all of you for coming in and taking time away from your families. And we just want to thank you both for coming on. Lady O, I know for a fact you got some vibes, some things that are happening this weekend. Tell everybody it's a vibe. What's happening this weekend?
It's the Vibe Wellness Sister Circle, Tea Therapy. Kalia Benson and Anye are going to have this event June 7th at 6:30, ages 21 to 35, 3633 Marietta Suite C, Florissant, Missouri. That is what's happening where people need to be. I want you to check your local areas to see what's going on for Juneteenth. Go somewhere, support. And I have to give out a very happy birthday shout out to my children's father. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Raymond Langford. Thank you so much for being a great dad to our children. And we wish you the best. I want to say you're getting old, but I'm a little bit older than you, so I'll keep that to myself. Hope you have a great birthday and enjoy all that you deserve.
Well, you know, we always tell everybody that tomorrow isn't promised, so it's important that you own your now. And we want to leave you with what, Lady O?
Peace, love, and positivity.
Bye-bye, everybody. Keep sipping.
I am.